Well, look who's back for more. But seriously, we should take a moment to talk about what happened today. I mean, again, CBAT and Chinese companies strike again. So you guys know if you've been around from the beginning of the year, when we were trading the Chinese companies, especially around the education platforms, it was just a wild card of question marks, literally. Like you just didn't know what you're diving into. Like we could not find anything on the financials with a lot of these companies. We couldn't find a catalyst, and they would just be, flying all over the place, up, 500% or down. So it's just a little bit crazy, these tickers. That's oftentimes why I'm a little bit more cautious on Chinese companies. Now, I want to talk about CBAT and XPEV specifically, and how I go about trading these these Chinese companies a little bit. And the reason I want to talk about these two is because CBAT is more of a small cap, and then XPEV is a bit more of a large cap. One I day trade, one I swing trade, and overall how I kind of go ahead and approach these tickers, because there is a lot of upside, but I find like the risk on these sometimes is just way too high. So I do tend to avoid them a lot of the times, but these are both tickers that I've already traded, and I probably will look to trade again in the future. So before we get into the tickers and talk about what we traded this Freaky Friday, according to Tristan on the live stream, I want to point out that we are very, very close to breaking that 10,000 subscriber mark, and I just wanted to give a big thank you for everyone. The community, it's been growing beautifully, and also it's just been so much fun. I think one of my favorite parts now about day trading, swing trading, and all that fun stuff is seeing what the chat room's always up to. It's always really good fun every morning checking you guys out. Starting at 7 a.m. Oftentimes, a lot of you guys are already in there in the chat room, and then going all the way to 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you're totally new and you're not part of the channel yet, definitely consider subscribing. Join the chat room, see if you like it. I think you will. We talk day trading, swing trading, and investing, but primarily day trading, and then it kind of just moves up the ladder a little bit. I think that's everything I wanted to drop into the intro. Let's go ahead and go to the charts now, and don't forget to drop a like if you enjoy the content. Let's go. Alrighty guys, so welcome back here. We're wrapping up the day with $229 profit. You can see it here, most of which came from CBAT, a Chinese small cap that I'm always typically very weary about trading. I only got one trade in on this ticker. I could have probably done two, but it was just such a sketchy ticker. We're gonna talk about this one a lot more. And then SGBX. Let's actually start about with SGBX, and then I want to talk about CBAT, and then I want to talk about another Chinese company that I'm looking to swing trade, XPEV. I think right now could be a really good buy opportunity for it. Okay, the reason I want to start with SGBX is just because I don't really see this one doing too much, and we did trade it, so I should review it a little bit. Oops, I'm actually on the wrong ticker right now. SGBT. Let's go ahead and pull this one up. All right, so SGBT, 8 million float, US metal fabrication company. They had a catalyst here that they were bringing coronavirus testing kits to airports. Okay, that's great news. I think the LAX specifically. The thing is, though, with SGBT, right around here, like 7:30, it had a ridiculous amount of selling pressure, and this was down 40% from pre-market highs. I'm always weary about small caps that are pulling back over 30% from pre-market highs and are trending below VWAP. Typically, it means it's a dead stock. Sometimes, especially in these volatile, second half of the week we've been seeing these last 3 days, or just in general, like we had Chinese companies, what was that, like back in June or July, just go absolutely crazy on no catalyst. I'm very weary about Chinese small caps. We'll talk a little bit more about that, but I was like, okay, this is a little bit weird here. At first, I tried to buy this one a little bit, got one pullback here to VWAP, very, very classic dip trade, and a pullback to VWAP. This was my first trade of the day. My second trade here, a bit of a breakout trade. This was kind of aggressive, got 10 cents a share. Actually, these two trades, although totally different in strategy, actually had very similar entries and exits. Kind of funny there. Then I bought this dip here. Luckily, I got out here on the 9 EMA retest. This was kind of scary because I went on a bigger position size around $2,000. 2,000 shares, which is about $6,000. Kept on selling off. I was down like a pretty decent little like 3 or 4% at one point. And then I was like, oh man, I even hit $400 down for a second. I didn't want to sell on a flush. So I was waiting for a 9 EMA retest. I knew this was going to be a loss, but I was thinking, okay, well, how can I mitigate my losses? I think that was a really important thought. Then I had another trade here, another dip trade, and then a pullback, also a little bit. I think it was like just a small winner. I don't know. And then I took a small loss here. It was so choppy here for SGBX. I didn't want to trade any of this here. I was looking for original pullback here into like the 50s. We didn't really get that. We bounced here at 64 right before I actually wanted to dip trade this one. So this one could have been good, but I missed it. And then we had this nice pull higher here. I just couldn't get long SGBX. I know some of you guys traded this move here, which was a really, really nice move, but it wasn't for me. And then all of this here was just, I don't know, no volume. So it was dead to me. Okay, let's keep going ahead here because CBAT, this was really the ticker that was the winner on the day. Kind of. It was the winner on the day pre-market. And then, you know, some of these dips here might have been possible. I don't know. So pre-market, let's kind of zoom here on this one. This was a crazy pre-market session. 23 million float, Chinese electrical equipment and parts company. Now, you guys know it's been really hot right now. Solar companies exploding like SPI. I think that was a Chinese company as well. This one, I think it had news. It was a battery day winner. They got the bidding for the higher project, which I still need to look into. They are expanding into the smart home space. So they're kind of getting into all those kind of trendy, hot buzzwords right now, it seems. I don't know. I couldn't really find a specific catalyst on CBAT today. So I was like really weary about that one. But it's like always with these Chinese companies, they fly on no catalyst. It just freaks me out. And when I don't understand a ticker 100%, I typically just don't want to trade it. And if I'm trading it, it's basically because it has a great technical setup. It has good support and resistance. And that's actually what led me to trade CBAT the first time here. So let's go back here. And then, yeah, we had a little bit of a sell-off into the market open. I knew there was some bigger support here. Let me actually go to the 4 hour. I think can identify that a little bit better. So we had a lot of big support here at 3.5. We also had some decent support here at one point, or actually this was kind of resistance. And then, you know, it opened up and it was really falling off a cliff. And I was actually kind of scared that this was going to get halted because we had a lot of halts yesterday. Almost everything got halted yesterday on the open. Let's actually go back here. And so you can see this one opened higher, but then it instantly sold off. This was a 14% dip from the open price. It's kind of crazy. I knew though $3 was somewhat big support. So I started averaging down here at $3. And then all I was looking for here was a 9 EMA retest. And you can see that's exactly what we got. So I started accumulating at 3, then we spiked up higher here. I sold too quickly at 2.5. 3.25 and took my profits and just walked away. Then this ridiculous dip happens here, almost like 25% down in like a couple of candles. This was really aggressive. I thought this was going to get halted due to volatility. It didn't get halted. And I was like, I just couldn't understand why. And there was so much selling pressure in this ticker that I looked for their financials, their 10Q. I was looking for warrants. We did it on the stream together. We couldn't find any. So I was like, oh man, there's some shady stuff going on with this company. And it's always these Chinese companies that I just can't fully wrap my head around. They always trade a little bit different. If it's, you know, an Australian biotech, a Canadian biotech or whatever, there's a lot of Israel companies, you know, a lot of US companies, obviously, as we're in the US markets, but they all kind of have a lot of similarities. And then it's like some random Chinese company comes in. You guys remember when all the Chinese education platform companies were just exploding, and it just seemed like very confusing to me. Anyway, you know, I think the one move I missed on this one was the bounce off of $2. That's a move we were talking about before, and that was a move that you can clearly see here on the daily, actually the 4 hour, and then here you can see like 163 has big support, and then right around this area we have opens and close of candles. I always love those zones, not to mention $2 is kind of like a very clean psychological point. Like, are we above $2? Are we below $2, right? Kind of like $1.50 is one of those key zones, 2.5 is a key zone. And then, you know, those classic dollar zones. So I definitely should have got this bounce here, but I wasn't super hot today, like in terms of like, oh, let me, you know, get super aggressive. So I think a big lesson today, guys, if you don't understand something, you don't have to trade it. Tomorrow, well, not tomorrow. Tomorrow is Saturday, but, you know, Monday, I mean, till Friday, that's 5 days where there's going to be plenty of opportunities. And if there's no opportunity that really fits your playbook, you don't have to trade. A lot of trading is about being patient and surviving to live another day. It's kind of weird because, you know, as a day trader, you think about being quick, you know, trading this, trading that, and like you check Twitter or StockTwits, God forbid, and you're just like, you're bombarded with everyone making a bunch of money because people only post when they make money, right? So it's like you just feel like you need to do something, and that's very counterintuitive because sometimes the best thing you can do is just hold cash and wait for that opportunity and then get aggressive. Trading doesn't have to be that difficult if you just wait for that good setup. just making a few trades a day, sometimes it's all that you need to do. And that's really where it comes in. And I think waiting on it for a ticker that you understand and the setup that you understand, those are the ones you really want to be aggressive on. And I think that's a big reason I didn't enter this too, because I was like, there's so much selling pressure here. Maybe there's some news about to come out about CBAT, and that's a big reason I stopped trading it. Who knows what's going to happen with this one? I'm not crazy about holding this one or, hoping for that there's going to be some continuation. Technically, we're still in an upwards trend. This could be a bit of crack of momentum. So we're technically still up 70% on the day, even though it's kind of pulled back quite a bit. So I don't really know how I want to play this one for now. At the moment, I see a lot of resistance here. We'll have to see how this one behaves in the afternoon. What I would want to do, and maybe I would consider doing, especially with holding overnight, swing trading Chinese stocks, I would be looking for a little bit larger cap, something a little bit more official. And even then, I don't fully understand it. Just like Alibaba, like of course I get it's like a wholesale marketplace. And I have friends that buy from Alibaba. Like I get what they do, but then there's so much stuff in the background that I just don't fully understand, right? So if I don't fully understand it, I typically don't want to trade it or invest into it. But if I see really good setups, then I will consider going long. And talking about good setups, this is the ticker I wanted to talk about, XPEV. This is one we've been following for quite some time. So this one IPO'd roughly here at $21 and then went higher, and we actually bought that move. So if we just go here to the 4-hour chart, we can see this one a little bit better. Let's go to all accounts here. And okay, so here we go, all accounts, and IPO'd. We actually bought this one. Actually, let me even go further back. Let's do like the 15-minute, so we could talk about this trade a little bit better. So the reason I bought here is because we knew that 22.5 roughly was a big support zone near the IPO price. So I ended up accumulating a little bit here, and right on the first pop towards the 9 EMA, I ended up selling this position. I didn't really know what was going to happen long term with this one, but I just knew it was good support and resistance. It was good risk reward, so I was like, I'm going to go long on this one. Took my small profits and walked away because I just didn't really fully understand this ticker yet. Not to mention IPOs, you always want to be extra careful on. And now XPEV is kind of giving us one of those opportunities again. We know there's a huge low here. Where's that? Like right here at like 17.3. Oops, what did I just click on? 17.3. And we're actually right below this area. I've been waiting for this ticker to somehow dip below this area a few times. You can see I actually have a limit order ready for this one here at 1627. I think this could be a really good entry. The sell volume has been kind of increasing here, so that's a little bit of a red flag, but at the same time, the price hasn't been dipping. I think it might capitulate at one point, and then we'll really kind of see a dip past the 17s. And I think between $15 and $16 is going to be big time support, maybe even around 16.5. Some big support will come in. So I'm going to have a starter positions here at 1627, and then we'll kind of go from there. Mainly because I think there's good support and resistance on this one. I always want to be fairly calculated with my swing trades, and I'd rather miss a little bit of upside and just buy near big support, because with swing trading, the one thing you don't want to do is wake up one day, check your accounts, and you're down 10, 20, 30%. That's a big reason we didn't trade, or that's a big reason, for example, CLSK, when battery day was coming up, I was like, ooh, I should really close this trade. I wanted to buy the pullback here, got the pullback, and then I was like, you know what, battery days today, and it's going to be all announced in the afternoon. I really don't want to hold into such an unpredictable news. And not to mention, CLSK had such a strong run up that, even buying these territories made me feel a little bit uncomfortable. And I just felt like a company like this could easily come out with an offering. They could dump shares into the market. I wouldn't be surprised if I woke up one day it was at $8. So that's why, I didn't want to treat this like a swing trade. I just wanted to take my quick profits near big support. And, with these Chinese companies, I honestly can't say it enough. If you don't fully understand it, if you're going to trade it, just make sure to have very good risk reward. That way, at least, you're avoiding a lot of downturns. So that's how I treat Chinese companies for now. Or, like you guys probably noticed, when I'm day trading, sometimes I just don't touch them at all, and I'd rather focus on something else unless there's a really clean setup. So let me know your guys' thoughts on what you guys think about Chinese companies, or trading stuff that maybe you don't fully understand yet. I would love to hear how you guys go about it. And yeah, I think that's everything for this video, guys. And don't forget, if you're totally new here, consider subscribing. We're about to break the 10,000 subscriber mark. And I think from there, it should be pretty interesting. I got a few things planned. I'm actually making a list here of 10 things I want to start implementing before the end of the year to kind of celebrate the $10,000 challenge. We'll talk a lot more about that probably on this weekend and then, starting next week. But would love to have you join before the 10K mark. That'll be a little bit of a milestone. And if you guys enjoy the content, don't forget to subscribe. Have a great weekend, guys. I'll see you next time, which should maybe be this weekend. Till then, guys, stay safe and make some awesome trades. Ciao, ciao.